guys, welcome to the Walking Dead After Show live on the stream. Oh my God, that was such a great finale. I'm so glad that it was good because I was worried it wasn't gonna be good, I'm not gonna lie, because they've been a little disappointing, but I'm glad that it was amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am joined by my co-hosts, David, Glenna, and Timothy. First and foremost, let's get in. Morgan is freaking back, and as Glenna said, he was like the Book of Eli with his like Jedi mastery. He was awesome.
Literally, he was wearing the exact same thing. He had his stick thing. He wasn't even looking anyone in the eyes.
Looked like he was
may have been blind. Yeah.
But how excited are we that he's back?
I'm very
so
excited.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Like, you have no clue.
Right.
Like, it's just, like, unbelievable that this man is back. It's about time. Like, you just, oh, we're going to show you 30 seconds of Morgan here.
Not even 30 seconds.
Not even
like, yeah.
at episode 2, but we're going to show it to you after the credits, so half the people miss it.
That's so true.
And it's just like, the whole season, I'm like, why did you even show me this? And finally.
Right.
The funny thing, they opened the episode with him. It wasn't even like a slight drop. It was like a open with Morgan. Season finale, here we go.
And we knew that he was going to be a big part of this episode because of that. So I'm really glad. And what I loved about seeing Morgan is I feel like he has still kept his humanity, at least from what I could see.
Can we talk about that for a second,
Yeah,
though,
go
really
for it.
quick? Because, okay, so season 1, he rescues Rick, and then they have this thing. He had his son Dwayne, and then he lost his wife, and that whole thing happened. But then Rick encountered him in, I forgot which season.
That area where he had built that kind of like trap.
And he was like completely crazy.
He was kind of crazy.
What happened?
Well,
That's true.
Well, it was probably right when he lost his son.
Yeah, but
So he was like crazy out of his
He
brain.
lost it, right? And then brought himself back
And
somehow. But that's a very, I agree.
I was just
Remember at the end of that episode, Rick talked to him, because Rick knocked him out. Rick talked to him, tried to talk some sense into him, and then he left. And he's like, you can find me here. I think they were still at the prison then, weren't they? Maybe. Yeah,
or were they at the governor's place? Or it was probably the prison then.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think they were still dealing with that then. And then like, that was the last time we saw him until, was it the season finale last season?
The mid-season.
Or it was the mid-season of this season.
Because they showed that little, like,
where he
a little
grabs
glimpse.
the map.
Right.
I just think it's
No, it's very
like,
interesting.
And I'm excited to
it's
see
a
his
really
kind of
good
like
point.
character arc in the next season, because it's
Absolutely.
like, well, how did you go from completely crazy to, oh, you know, every life is precious? I think that's interesting.
Right.
I'm sure we're going to find out.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, yeah.
Right.
But everyone, no one is ever the same in every season. People have their, like, all the time. You know, hello, Carol.
No, true. I forget who called it that Daryl was going to bring, they were going to end up bringing him back to Alexandria. Was it you, Glenna, that said that during?
I don't know.
No,
You said that, you were like, Daryl's going to bring Morgan back.
They're going to end up finding Morgan, and they're going to bring him back. And then I'm like, oh, it happened.
Now, before we get into the next topic, I loved that they brought him back, but his face when he saw Rick. How do you think that's going to go over? Because Rick is a completely different person from the last time he saw him. Rick's a little crazy. The first thing he sees when he gets to the safe haven is him shoot somebody in the head.
Yeah, and I think, like, when we first saw it, it was like, oh my God, look, they're so happy to see, like they can't believe it. But I really think it was like, oh my God, I can't, like, Morgan was like, you just shot somebody in the head, and then they didn't even want to kill the other, I don't know.
Well, what was more interesting about that, we saw Morgan's face that he, like, he's like, Rick, but I can't believe you just did that. But then when we saw the reverse, we saw Rick's face. Rick was like Morgan, and then we saw a second of guilt.
Like I can't believe you just saw me do this.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, like you just caught me doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
Well, first off, when Morgan opened up when Daryl opened up the map, we were trying to figure out, is he even going to make the connection? So when they showed Morgan at the meeting, we were all like, whoa, like, we didn't even know that was going to happen that fast.
Right.
They seemed like they were really far away.
He said 50 miles away from the camp, so I was like, you
They
guys got back
cars,
real quick.
It's like an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I just think, I think that because he's got this whole new, I think David said it, this whole new monk persona of life that he just took a life.
Right.
It's like, it's, you know, the
Very
equivalent
true.
of killing an ant or
Right.
something. So
completely
you know,
agree. Now,
so
transitioning to when Morgan came back and he saved Daryl, and I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Aaron.
Aaron, yes. From all those walkers, which was scary as all get out, can we say, when they were trapped in that car. Glenna definitely thought that Daryl was going to be,
love of my life was
gonna be gone and she was about to die. But let's talk about that whole situation, because I think we're definitely being set up for next season for the new villains or the new Terminus type people. Like, I don't know who was in the red poncho. I don't know who these guys were with the W's, why they're trapping the walkers. Do you guys have any theories about what that's going to be?
Well, see, here's my thing. Because we were talking about earlier in the season about how the the wolves were part of Negan's team, but I'm reading the comics and there's no wolves associated with Negan. I think he's more, his group is called the Saviors, which it's just interesting to me that they stuck to the comics so much this season that I feel like next season they're going to kind of go off, just like they did with the whole hospital and Dawn and that whole thing with Beth. I think that they're just going to go off and do something different now.
Right. I just am curious to see what their whole plan is with trapping those walkers and those like trailer type things and then having them go. Are they just trying to kill people? Like, I don't even know what the deal is.
Maybe it's one of those things like we saw the first scene with Morgan. They said what they do. They run into people and they said they run through their camps. They take everything, they burn them down, they kill everyone. And then we go all the way back to Noah's family. Wolves were here. So they did that to them.
Right.
And then now we think, I mean, it looks like they're heading for Alexandria next now that because they found the stuff. But maybe it's one of those things like maybe they use the walkers kind of like the governor had that pit full of walkers that he ran them through some people's fences.
They're just trying to
go.
Steal like supplies.
Or he used them as like fighters. But
yeah,
that's
but he
true,
kind of used them as like body shields, so to speak. Or Carol did it when she stormed Terminus. She blew down the gate and she used the walkers to go through and take out everybody.
Yeah,
I just don't see why the walkers were in the truck at that specific spot. Like, what was the point? Why would they set them up there?
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can come up with is, the guy in the red poncho, maybe that was his camp and they were trying to go through his camp because then they catch him.
Yeah.
Because it was like the tomato cans, so they figured if people saw them, they'd check to see if there were.
That's a good point.
Tomato cans in their food. So.
Well, let us know what you think, and you can tweet us using the hashtag TWDAS. And if you are tuning in live, invite your friends, your family, your loved ones, anyone to join us into the Walking Dead after show on the stream. Now let's move on to Glenn versus Nicholas, because I hate Nicholas, and Glenn should have given him what he deserved, but he had his compassion. He forgave him. He shot Glenna. You guys, I mean, come on. He shot him.
That was the.
He not only shot him, he set him up.
He set him up.
Okay, that's what I called. I called it.
Glenna called it. She was like, "This is a trap. Glenn, don't follow him."
When he saw him crawling up the fence, he knew Glenn was gonna see it because everybody follows everybody up in this show.
So true.
He went, and then there was the thing. It was a trap.
And the thing that was scary, and I was believing David for a while, almost the whole time that I thought Glenn was going to die, was because even the way him and Maggie said goodbye and I love you to each other, I was like, he's going to die. He's going to die.
People on Twitter were saying the same thing.
And yeah, absolutely.
He like cheated death like 4 times tonight.
Yeah, he did.
There were like 4 times. Twice.
Well, the worst part was we didn't even get to. We don't even get to see how he cheated death. It's just like all of a sudden 8 walkers fall on Glenn. Cut to commercial. Yeah. We come back and here he is.
Just attacking Nicholas, right?
We just missed a whole chapter of that book there.
Which is a big chapter.
And they did it every
come on,
time.
we got to see how that happened, because it's not real. I mean, it's not realistic anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how did he get out of there? But Glenn, and you brought this up before, I love seeing how much Glenn has grown up over the seasons. I think he's a great character.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, if he had shot Nicholas, would we have been disappointed in Glenn? Because he's not that kind of person.
He isn't. So, but I think it would have been an interesting change for him.
Well, see, that's
a bad change for him.
Glenn has changed a lot. Like, he's grown up into the boy that was driving around, what was it, a Mustang or
his
Camaro?
Little ball cap.
Right.
To a man. But his character as a person has not changed one bit throughout the entire show. So like everything that's happened to him has only really made him stronger. He's not.
That's true.
Out of all, like we see what happened to Rick, and we see what happened to Shane, and we see what happened to so many other people, how that changes him for the worse.
Right.
He has not changed at all.
And also, I feel like at this point in the show, it's like clear that they're just gonna kill people, like if they have to. It's not. There's no hesitation really there. But I think it was kind of nice to see like them still like it's still he can't do it. You know what I mean? Because Rick will just be like, oh, Carl did it to that one guy in the forest once or in the woods or whatever. Like, no hesitation.
And Rick just did it at the end of this episode.
Right.
So I get where you're going.
But it's just interesting that we haven't really seen that in a really long time.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Well, one person that we need to stop saving is Father Gabriel. Can we talk about that? Because if he doesn't die in this next season, I might boycott. But seriously, he has been saved so many times, it's not even funny. He really has less purpose than Eugene at this point.
About
He is. I'm like, the whole
really
time,
is.
I'm like, this man is Satan. He is Satan. What do
which
we
is
think?
really ironic because he was saying
That
everybody else
was,
was,
right.
yeah.
And can we talk about how clean his shirt was after he killed those walkers? I was a little upset about that.
He said, well, he did say the armor of God is all I need, so maybe it was God's armor.
The armor of God got tied. Got tied up on that bitch.
But I have to commend Maggie for, again, her and Glenn, they just have these hearts of gold because she just grabbed his hand and picked him up after all his crazy and after all that she heard Father Gabriel say.
And she didn't tell the rest of the group.
And she didn't tell the rest of the group.
You're right.
Right.
She kept that to herself.
Right.
Because, if Rick would have found out, he'd already been dead.
Right, he would have been a target and everybody would have gotten a chance, yeah. So I think it's interesting they keep saving him because I don't think he really has much of a purpose. Does he, I don't know, Tim, does he have a bigger purpose in the comics from what you've read?
Right now he's just, he does that whole thing with Alexandria and now they've moved on. I don't want to give too much away from the comics, but.
I mean, I also feel like there, he is very religious. He kind of holds that like religious part of the show. So I feel like they're going to try and use that. And
maybe Father Gabriel and Monk Morgan will come together and create
the Book of Eli? Because that's exactly what that is.
Maybe that will happen. Well, before we go to break, what do you guys think is going to become of Alexandria now? Now that Morgan's there, now that Pete's dead because Rick shot him without hesitating, now that Deanna's husband's gone. I mean, we had a lot of stuff happen in this finale.
The Rick-tatorship is back in effect.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to take charge.
Yeah.
I think that they will have a dual, like, I don't know, presidential.
See, here's my
thing.
theory. I think that because Deanna just lost her son and her husband in this last episode, I feel like she's gonna kind of fully understand what Rick has been trying to say.
Yeah.
And kind of just give leadership over to
Right.
him. Because it's like, you're not listening, you weren't listening, this is where we are, this is what has happened.
And this is the backlash of us not being able to listen to you guys. Yeah.
And I think she's just going to be like, you know what, you would be more
You tell
fit.
us what to do.
Yes.
Right.
So I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely think they're gonna take over, and now Rick's got a bigger
Not even
responsibility.
take over, it's not even a takeover.
Well,
it's
yeah,
more of like a,
but now he's
you
in
do it.
charge.
Yes.
So now he has even more people to take care of. So we've already seen when that's done to him mentally, like trying to make sure everybody stays safe. And it's not like he's, literally a dictatorship, but he's trying to keep people safe. And how much further is that going to push him over the edge? And that's where I think Morgan comes back into play, where Morgan is like maybe the one person that he can still talk to, who can be his.
Well, he was
conscience,
hearing
so
his
to
voice
speak.
in his head.
Yeah.
That's
So-
true.
Well, it was Bob's voice.
Oh, yeah, it was Bob's
Was
voice.
it?
was,
Yes.
yeah.
I thought
yeah.
we said
I thought it was too big.
Bob had that lisp. I remember the lisp.
I think it was Bob's voice. I think.
And now
you're
that
right.
Morgan's back, I think him and Michonne are going to hook up. Just saying.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be right back with your fan questions, but keep tweeting us using the hashtag TWDAS. We'll be right back.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
So this is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
That the more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell them don't go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on TheStream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Walking Dead After Show, live on theStream.tv. Before we get into your fan questions, we want to shout out a few of you that are tuning in live with us tonight. Who do we have in the chat room, Tim?
Awesome. First of all, thank you guys for watching throughout the entire season and sticking with us.
Yes.
We've got John Banston, Goku Hilton, and Connor Kilmer. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. All right, let's get to these awesome fan questions. You guys tweet us throughout the week, and we're so appreciative of that. So our first fan questions comes from Kate, or KT086. It says, will Daryl and Aaron find out who is carving W in the walkers' heads? Well, as we found out tonight, well, we kind of found out that it's like the wolves or whatever. So obviously they're setting us up for this to be the new storyline for next season. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to know what you guys think. So please tweet us and let us know what you think is the wolves. Apparently they're not in the comics.
Well, I just haven't gotten to there yet.
That part.
Yeah,
okay.
I haven't really caught up yet. So,
any thoughts on that?
Well, I
mean, they're already back at Alexandria now.
Yeah.
So
right.
I don't think they're gonna go. I mean, they could possibly go back out and try and find more people, but I think a lot has happened. They're probably just gonna be like, hold the phone.
Right.
So.
But the wolves are definitely coming.
They're they're coming.
Yeah.
But
at this point, though, I don't think Rick and Aaron even know what the wolves are. They don't even know that they're called wolves.
Yeah.
All they see is a
no,
W.
They saw.
That was after they were gone.
They saw the note in the car.
It just said bad people are coming. Don't
but it didn't
stay.
say anything about the wolves. They don't know. They just know the W's.
But then at the same time, at the end of this episode, the guy after he killed the guy in the red poncho, we're looking through those photos. So obviously he knows that they have a community.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously they're going to go after Alexandria.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. So they're going to be the new villains, but I'm sure they'll discover them, and it's going to be awesome.
To say the least.
To say the least. All right, our next fan question comes from C. Bichel. Do you think there are survivors/groups like Rick's in other countries, and will we ever meet them? Well, we were supposed to see We were supposed to see a preview for a spin-off show called Fear the Walking Dead, but all it was a graphic with a voiceover. So AMC, get it together and show us an actual preview for this show so that we can get excited about it. Because I was waiting to see it, and that's all we got.
What's that? I mean, this is the season finale of The Walking Dead. What a great time to drop your preview.
Right.
It's like the Super Bowl for your own Super Bowl.
Absolutely, absolutely. So hopefully we will actually get to see a real preview, AMC, and I'm excited for it, though. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to see other characters in different areas and
city,
because man, they were in Georgia for a really long time.
But yeah, I mean, they're definitely in this show. They're not going to be the only people in the world.
Right, of course.
Of course. They might be smaller groups, but.
Right. Well, thanks for your question.
I hope they're in New York.
I'm surprised it's not in New York, because New York's always the first. Yeah, it is in LA,
Los Angeles.
What is
supposed to be?
The spin-off.
Oh, the spin-off?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, it's better than Backwoods. So
oh, completely.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
I'm excited to see some Valley Girls.
We're going to be like, oh my God, Kingsbury!
Stop it. No, don't bite me. Don't bite me.
Oh my gosh. It's really going to be like that.
Off of me!
They're going to try out for it, apparently. Okay, our next question. Our last question, which I love because I agree with it completely, is from Jocelyn Polite. How on earth can we go through another season with Judith out on the road? Rick needs to hunker down and fall in line for her sake. Okay, let's talk about Judith for a second. First of all, why is she not walking? Okay, you guys.
Right?
Why has she been an infant for 2.5 years? Second of all.
Because she's 2.5.
That's not an infant.
All right.
That's like an infant's a baby. That's a toddler.
She's been in this
walk.
show for 4 seasons, and she's still the same size baby.
She's still an
Whereas
infant.
Carl,
she's the same size as when Tyrese was carrying her.
grown almost 2 feet since this show started.
And his voice has dropped like
puberty happens really fast. Puberty happens fast.
No, but babies grow fast. She's still an infant. She should be a toddler.
Just
she should be walking.
Cast a 4-year-old already, and let's get it over with.
Right.
She should be walking.
I agree.
And at least talking like small words and playing leapfrog at this point.
Something.
So
But Tim doesn't even want her
I
around
think they
anymore.
should just kill her off. I can't. I'm over Judith. I think that
Terrible. Just
she
killing
should
off the
die.
children. Just
she
killing
should
off the
die.
children.
She's a liability. She should die.
She is a liability.
She was a liability
She
when they
still
were out in
is.
the woods.
But I feel like if she was walking, she'd have a little bit more purpose. Like, at
No,
least she
she'd be
could go
even
on
more
her-
of a liability because that bitch would just wander off. Like, oh, where's Judith? Oh, she just wandered off.
I think if she was walking, it'd be better because I think that would give Rick a better reason to be a better person because now his daughter, who's watching and learning from him,
I completely agree.
he's going to have to be a different kind of person.
I completely agree. So either get her walking or do something because at this point, we're all just like,
Either get her walking or she'll be the Walking Dead.
Or the crawling.
That was the
Or
best
the crawling
thing
dead
I've
because
ever
she's not
said
even
in my
walking. She hasn't even crawled yet. She hasn't even crawled yet. Anyway, all right. So thank you for your question, Jocelyn. And we want to give a few Twitter shout outs. You guys tweet us throughout the week and we're so, so grateful for that. So first and foremost, we want to shout out Undead Walking FS. We love you. We love partnering with you. Thank you so much. And Susie Graham Choose. Thank you so much. You always tweet us at WriterGirl47. At Tats2Lady and at Paulina Sedeka. Thank you so much. We love all of your questions. We love your comments. You tweet us even throughout the show when we're watching it live, so it's really, really awesome to get your reactions. We're gonna miss you guys. We're gonna miss you guys. I know this is the last one, the season finale, but what a great way to end the season. I was really happy.
Really an amazing
It had some ups and
episode.
downs throughout the season, but I think they killed it with the movie tonight because it was 90 minutes. But thank you so much for being a part of our season, and we can't wait until The Walking Dead season 6 comes back. We love you guys, and tweet us still. We'd love to hear from you. So take care. See you later. Bye.
Bye, guys. Miss you.
To join the conversations about your favorite TV shows, check out the Fan Show Network on theStream.tv. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe now.